We'd like to welcome back our Kerm radio audience. We are playing the ACE season game here at the Bentonville High School. The season has 12 games. The game we're playing right now happens to be Game 6. We have 3 teams on the stage, and I'd like them to introduce themselves to the audience. On the far left of the stage, sitting at the blue table, go ahead.
Hello, Mr. Driver. We are the Prairie Grove High School team, and we're happy to be here in sunny Bentonville, Arkansas. From my right to left, and from the audience's left to right, we have our very special birthday boy and star man, Micah Duncan. Immediately to my right is our Genie Matthew Haley. I'm Roy McKenzie. To my left, we have Major Tom TJ Langley. And on the far end, we have Thursday's child, Faith Strawn. Our very own ground controls, our 2 coaches, Dustin Seaton and Donna Mitchell.
In the middle of the stage at the yellow table, go ahead.
Wishing a warm salutation to the radio audience and all those present. We are Bentonville, home of the Real Tigers. This is our home game today. From the audience's left to right, we have Al, Jacob, myself, Nick, Shiva, and Veronica. And we are sponsored by the magisterial Mr. McElroy and the personable Mr. Payne.
On the far right of the stage, at the red table, go ahead.
We are Farmington High School. From the audience's right to left, we have Patty Bruno, myself, Jack Williams, Danielle Diversary, Kayla DeMay, and Whitney Greenlee.
Thank you. Did you give your coach? Did I hear it? Farmington, did you give your name of your coach?
Clayton Williams.
There you go. That's important. He's wearing a red shirt. All right. For the radio audience, this is Game 6. We've already played 2 games today. There is a total of 9 teams, and so the last 3 teams are competing on the stage right now. 14 academic questions from different textbooks that the students might have in high school. The first question of the match comes from Current Events, the newspaper taken from the Arkansas Gazette during the week of December 14th through 18th. Each team gets their own question, so Prairie Grove, here is your current event news question. John Kerry met with 20 other diplomats from Europe, Africa, and the Middle East over growing concerns of advances in Islamic militants in Libya. Who is the Italian minister who recently stated that Libya is most likely the next emergency after Syria?
Gangliani?
No.
Tortelloni.
That's not what I have.
Rigatoni.
No.
Pepperoni.
No. Time is up. Do we have a steal? Bentonville.
Gentavoni.
No. Farmington.
Ravioli.
We have a theme. I appreciate the humor. The Italian minister is Renzi, R-E-N-Z-I, Matteo Renzi. No points for the first current event question. Here we go with Bentonville. The Genesis Prize is given each year to an individual who has achieved professional success, contributed to humanity, and shown a strong commitment to his Jewish identity. Who is the Israeli-American violinist who has been awarded this year's Genesis Award for his accomplishments as a musician, teacher, and advocate for the disabled?
Joshua Bell.
No.
Gabe Bolkowski.
No. Time has elapsed for the steal, Prairie Grove.
Perlman.
Perlman is correct. Isaac Perlman. 1 point steal, Prairie Grove. We're now ready for Farmington's current event question. Who is the governor of Texas who ordered the National Guard troops to remain on the Texas border, extending once again admission that they began in 2014 when unaccompanied children began pouring into the country?
Perry?
No. Time has elapsed for Farmington, Prairie Grove for the steal.
Abbott.
Greg Abbott is the governor of Texas. Yes, 1 point steal, PG. We're now ready for the second question of the match. It comes from your World History and Culture textbook. Prairie Grove, your question is, what is the single largest religious group in Australia?
Christianity.
No.
Islam.
No.
Aborigine.
No.
Catholicism.
No. For the steal, Bentonville?
The Church of England.
No. Farmington, quickly?
Christchurch?
Okay, so Christianity and Christian would be similar answers. The answer, you had to be more specific. It's Roman Catholic. 30% of the country is Catholic. The Bentonville World Geography question is, the lowlands of eastern Australia are underlain by a vast store of water known as what?
Aquifer.
No.
The Great Aquifer.
No. Interesting. For the steal, Prairie Grove?
The Big Deep Aquifer.
No. Farmington, quickly.
The Great Artesian Basin?
Correct. 1 point steal, Farmington. Farmington, here is your world geography question. Australia is the world's leading exporter of what agricultural product?
Bauxite?
Nope.
Opals?
No.
Sheep or wool?
Yes. Is it the third or fourth answer? What do you think? Sheep, wool. Third answer, 2 points. All right. The third question of the match is American history. We're back to Prairie Grove. What Supreme Court case, are we ready? What Supreme Court case declared that the Bank of the United States was indeed constitutional, even though the Constitution did not specifically give Congress the power to create one?
Gibbons v. Ogden.
No.
Maryland v. McCulloch. Maryland v. McCulloch.
Yes. They have it in reverse order, but that is correct. So it's your second answer, 3 points for Prairie Grove. Bentonville. American history. This is also a Supreme Court decision. Which Supreme Court decision marked the first time when the court asserted judicial review?
Marlbury versus Madison.
Yes, 4 points. And Farmington, which Supreme Court decision noted that the Constitution gave the federal government control over interstate commerce?
Gibbons versus Ogden?
Yes, 4 points. Everyone scored well in that category. The fourth question of the game comes from your short story literature category. Prairie Grove, from the short story The Flowers by Alice Walker. What did Myop find at the base of the wild pink rose that caused her summer to be over?
A dead body.
No.
A wilted flower.
No. Time has elapsed. For the steal, Farmington?
Part of the noose is wrapped around the stem of the flower.
I will accept that. It was the rotting hangman's noose. That is a 1 point steal for Farmington. Bentonville, your literature question comes from the story The Man to Send Rain Clouds by Leslie Marmon Silko. Why does the family ask the priest to bring holy water to the burial site?
So the dead man will not be thirsty?
Yes, that is 4 points for Bentonville. Now we're ready for Farmington. Your literature question from the story Labor Day Dinner by Alice Munro. At the end of the story, what happens so quickly that there is no time to say a word, but more importantly, that gives both George and Roberta a feeling of strangeness?
They saw headlights of an incoming car.
No.
They slid off the road.
No. Prairie Grove for the steal.
They almost had a car crash.
That's more like it. It was their truck barely misses hitting another car. So it was the closeness of the accident. That is a 1 point steal, Prairie Grove. The fifth question of the match comes from your American government textbook. What was the name? This is a Prairie Grove question. What is the name of the early Supreme Court case which first ruled a state law could be, or a state law that to be unconstitutional?
Constitutional supremacy.
That's not what I have.
Laws.
Time is elapsed. Bentonville.
Gibbons versus Ogden.
That's not what I have. For the steal, Farmington.
Fletcher versus Peck.
Yeah, 1 point steal, Farmington. What was the name? This is Bentonville's American government question. What was the name of the early Supreme Court case which ruled that a state cannot tax the federal government because the Constitution states that the national government is above the state governments?
McCulloch versus Maryland.
Did he pronounce that correctly? Yes. We'll go 4 points for Bentonville. McCulloch. So Farmington, here is your American government question. What is the name of the U.S. Supreme Court case? The decision which ruled that the government cannot ban political spending by corporations or labor unions on elections because those organizations are legally individuals, and to ban them from contributing to election campaigns was a violation of the First Amendment rights.
Citizens United.
That'll be enough, I guess. Okay, so the second part of the question was, the second part of the answer was written in the question, so that is acceptable. 4 points for Farmington. The answer I had fully written was Citizens United versus the Federal Election Commission. So that was a good job for the fifth category. We're now ready for Shakespeare, Prairie Grove, from the play Timon of Athens. In the last words Alcibiades has for Timon, what does he hope people will do when remembering him?
Curse his name.
No.
Weep for him.
No.
Miss him.
No.
Pay for his money.
That is incorrect. For the steal, Bentonville.
Regret all of the pain they had caused Timon.
Yes, that's acceptable. The answer I had here is forgive his faults. We have a 1 point steal, Bentonville. And we're now ready for Bentonville's Shakespeare question all alone. In the play Henry IV, Part 1, what is the noble family's frustration with the king?
He refuses to pay a ransom to get back Lord Mortimer.
That is correct. 4 points. Bentonville is strong in Shakespeare category. Farmington, here is your Shakespeare question from the play All's Well That Ends Well. Why does Helena decide to go to Paris?
To go get Bertram.
Tell me Bertram's title.
He's a noble, like lord.
So no. Time has passed for the steal, Prairie Grove.
To cure the king.
To cure the king's illness is what I have. So that's a little more specific than what Farmington said. 1 point steal, Prairie Grove. All right, the 7th question of the match comes from vocabulary, Prairie Grove. What is the adjective that means multicolored, mixed?
Motley.
Motley is correct. 4 points for Prairie Grove. Bentonville. What is the noun meaning extreme wealth, abundance?
Opulence.
That is correct. 4 points. Farmington. Name the noun meaning a slight offense.
Misdemeanor?
That's not what I have.
Oblique?
All right, time has elapsed for Farmington. For the steal, Prairie Grove.
Peccadillo.
That is correct. 1 point steal, Prairie Grove. All right. We're now at the time of the first half where we go to the team choice. Teams got to pick the category that they'd like a repeat question. Prairie Grove chose vocabulary, Bentonville chose U.S. history, and Farmington chose geography. Prairie Grove, your vocabulary question. Name the adjective meaning impertinent, forward.
Pert.
Pert is correct. 4 points. I failed to give the extra direction that you only get one chance to answer, and the steal is worth 2 points. Bentonville, you chose U.S. history. For 4 points, what was the term used in the presidential election in 1824 by Jackson supporters in which John Quincy Adams won the election and then appointed Henry Clay, his Secretary of State, thus appearing that Clay had thrown his support to Adams so that Jackson would not win?
Corrupt bargain.
That is correct. 4 points. Farmington, you chose geography. Here is your geography question. In rural areas of Indonesia and Malaysia, many people live in multi-family dwellings of up to 100 people. And what are they called?
Clans.
No. So for the steal, Bentonville. Quickly.
Tribes.
No. And Prairie Grove, instantly, quick.
Big homes.
You were closer than anyone else, but the answer is, with capital letters, they're called long houses. No points for that toss-up. No, team choice. We're now ready for the toss-up, and it comes from the category of American government. Everyone have their plungers, their clickers in hand. The team that gets it correctly gets 4 points. American government question. Which state is the only state in the U.S. which does not require citizens to register? So from Farmington?
North Dakota.
North Dakota is correct. You have earned 4 points for your team. We're now at the halfway point of the 6th game. The current score is close. Prairie Grove has 16 points, Farmington has 17, and Bentonville has 25. At this time, we'll take a short break for the radio audience to talk to their sponsors and the radio audience, and we will take time for teams to substitute players.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Mom. Starving. Chips. Hey. Oh, thanks. Oh, we're starving. What else do we got here? Crackers. Yo. Oh, I'm starving. Oh, yeah, cookies.
And the constant snacking with Tyson Anytizer's boneless buffalo bites.
Yeah.
Made with all white meat, they're the warm, protein-packed way to hold them over until dinner time.
These are awesome.
Also available in these delicious varieties.
Thanks, Mom. What sets us apart is our attention to detail. We have a 100% satisfaction guarantee warranty. If you're not happy in any way, we'll make it right. We have what we call a safety seal. We wear it on our shirts. All of our technicians are drug tested. All of them go through a background check. As a father of 4, I would feel 100% safe with the guys that I hire in my home.
Buzz Electrical Services. You'll be buzzing about our services. Looking for free checking that isn't free of extras? It's as easy as finding your nearest Arvest bank. Our free Blue checking comes with lots of features, including free online and mobile banking, and the ability to deposit a check just by taking a picture of it with your smartphone. And since it's from Arvest, you'll have the freedom of more than 240 locations and 7-to-7 banking. You shouldn't have to pay for convenience. Switch to free Blue checking from Arvest Bank.
If you would like to advertise during this broadcast, please contact our athletic director, Brad Blue,
at 479-266-1806.
Go Cards!
In Arkansas, over 600 cars a day illegally pass a school bus, putting lives at risk. So Everett is joining with area schools to promote the Flashing Red Kids Ahead School Bus Safety Program. Always stop when you see the flashing red lights of a school bus. Children's lives depend on it. And report drivers to the police if they don't stop. School bus safety is everyone's responsibility. Remember, flashing red, kids ahead.
Everybody knows how good Louisiana food is. For us, it's a way of life. We call it Creole. Creole is the melting pot of cultures, music, and great food. Salt and pepper? No way. On whatever you cook or whatever you eat, use Tony Chachere's Creole seasoning. Trust me, I know Creole, and this is the real deal.
Oh yeah, Tony Chachere
makes everything taste great.
Williams Tractor is a proud supporter of Farmington High School, academics, and athletics, and wishes all Farmington teams a successful season. Williams Tractor carries over 120 different lines of equipment and knows that tradition is as important on the field as it is in serving our customers. Good luck to all competitors and coaches.
10 seconds, and we're going to do another set of introductions. Welcome back, the Kerm audience. We're here in the 6th game. It's the 3rd match of the day. We have 3 teams on stage competing for points for the season of 12 games for 2015-2016 season. When we left off at the first half, I'm going to repeat the score. Prairie Grove had 16 points, Farmington had 17, and Bentonville leads with 25 points. The schools have changed students because the categories of questions have changed. They've got different students who are experts in those subject areas. So let's reintroduce the teams, starting with the blue table.
Hello again, Mr. Driver. We are still Prairie Grove, and contrary to popular belief today, we are the real Tigers. From my right to left, from the audience's left to right, we have the fastest man in Washington County, Tim Firking, our sports expert and commentator, Avery Roten. I'm still Roy McKenzie. Directly to my left, we have the man in black. He's sharply dressed, Spencer Parnell. And way down on the end, I'd like to one more time wish a happy birthday to my friend Micah Duncan. Thank you, Mr. Driver. Our 2 coaches are Dustin Seaton and Donna Mitchell. We're happy to be here today.
All right, sitting at the middle table, our host school, go ahead.
Hello everyone, this is Bentonville High School. We are clearly the real Tigers. And from the audience's left to right, we have Sam Cecil, Shrikar Chikala, Shahul Alam, Moshmi Sahu, and Amirtha Suresh Babu. And in the crowd are sponsors, the magisterial Mr. McElroy and the perennially perfect Mr. Payne.
And on the far right of the stage at the red table, go ahead.
We are Farmington High School, and from the audience's left to right, we have Coleman, Brandon, Jeffrey, Monica, and Chloe, and our sponsor is Clayton Williams.
All right, so we're starting the second half. Each half always begins with a current event question, but this time it's from the sports pages. Prairie Grove, here is your sports question. Only 3 horse trainers have ever topped $20 million in season earnings. What trainer joined Steve Asmussen and Todd Pletcher when Majestic Affair won the $75,000 allowance feature race, and his winning puts the trainer over the $20 million mark?
Brandon.
No.
Johnson.
No.
Speedy.
No. Time has elapsed for Prairie Grove. Do we have a steal from Farmington?
Chad Brown.
That is correct. 1 point steal, Farmington. Bentonville, at the yellow table, your sports question. Who was the three-division champion, flamboyant showman, and one of the boxing's most colorful character who has recently been elected into the International Boxing Hall of Fame?
Camacho.
Camacho is correct. 4 points. Macho Camacho. Farmington, sports question. Who won the Mackey Award as the nation's top tight end and was also recently selected as the first-team All-American for college football by the Associated Press?
Hunter Henry.
Hunter Henry is correct right here, the U of A. 4 points for Farmington. The 11th question of the match is chemistry. Back to Prairie Grove. This rule states that electrons occupy degenerate orbitals in such a way as to maximize the number of electrons with the same spin.
Hund's rule.
Hund's rule is worth 4 points. Good job. Bentonville, chemistry. What is the law that states that the elemental composition of a pure compound is always the same regardless of its source, also called the law of constant composition?
Law of definite proportions.
Perfectly said. 4 points for Bentonville. Farmington, chemistry. This is a property that is independent of the amount of material considered. For example, density.
Intensive properties.
I think I heard you correctly, but I'd like you to say it louder.
Intensive properties.
Yes, intensive property is worth 4 points. Every team got the maximum score on that. Well done. We're now in the category of art history. It's the 12th question of the match. Early Christian, this is for Prairie Grove, early Christian churches built with plain exteriors and very elaborate and decorative interiors. What were they called?
Is it catalysts?
No.
Dialibs?
No.
Myalibs?
No.
Panels?
No. Time has elapsed. Bentonville for the steal?
Tesserae?
No. For the steal, Farmington.
Basilicas?
Basilica is correct. 1 point steal, Farmington. We are now ready for Bentonville's art history question. What type of art adorns the side of the column of Trajan, T-R-A-G-A-N, and narrates the history of the Decian campaign? Decian?
A wreath?
Relief is correct. 4 points for Bentonville. And Farmington, art history question. What is the term for a work such as a sculpted band running 525 feet around the top of the Parthenon?
A ribbon?
No. Time has elapsed for the steal, Bentonville.
A frieze?
Frieze is correct. Steal, 1 point for Bentonville. All right. We are now ready for the 13th question of the match, and it is mathematics. Each team will have 60 seconds to answer their own math question. So if you'd pull the blue envelope, distribute the strips of paper in the blue envelope. I'll read the question out loud for the audience. Write the equation of the circle with a center of, the parentheses surround -6 and 3, and a radius of 3.
the quantity x plus 6 squared plus the quantity y minus 3 squared equals 9?
That answer is worth 4 points. Well done, Prairie Grove. Bentonville, it's time for your math question. Everyone open up your yellow envelope, distribute the slips, and I'll read the question out loud. Line segment EF is formed by points E in parentheses 5 and 8 and F in parentheses 4 and 7. What is the length of segment EF? Round to the nearest tenth.
.1 units.
Bentonville, 4 points for your math answer. Farmington is sitting at the red table, so please open up the red envelope, distribute the strips. Farmington, you have 60 seconds to answer. The question, find the volume of a cylinder that a radius of 7 inches and a height of 10 inches. Your answer should be in the terms of pi.
.490 pi inches cubed.
That is correct. All teams got the full points for their math questions. Good job. That was 4 points for Farmington. The 14th question of the match, the category is from your biology textbook, Prairie Grove. What is the scientific term for simple sugars like glucose?
Monosaccharides.
Monosaccharides is worth 4 points. Good job. Bentonville, biology. Besides plant cells and some protists, what other type of organisms have cell walls?
Fungi.
Fungi is worth 4 points for Bentonville. Farmington, in what stage of photosynthesis is sugar actually produced?
Glycolysis?
No. Time has elapsed for the steel Prairie Grove.
The light-dependent reaction.
That is correct for the steel. There was a second answer that was good. It also could be Calvin cycle, but light independent reaction is also a correct answer. 1 point steel, Prairie Grove. We're now ready for the category of physics from your high school physics textbook. Prairie Grove, a juggler throws a bowling pin into the air with the initial velocity of VI. Another juggler drops a pin at the same instant. Compare the accelerations of the two pins while they're in the air.
The same?
The same is worth 4 points. That's correct. Bentonville. Physics question. Why can't you add a scalar and a vector?
A vector has a direction, whereas a scalar doesn't.
That is a perfect answer. Bentonville gets 4 points. Farmington. Physics question. If vector B is added to vector A, under what conditions does the resultant have a magnitude of A plus B?
They're both positive in direction.
What do you think, David? That's acceptable. That's worth 4 points. It's not quite the way it was worded on my sheet. I had it that they're traveling in the same direction, and you said positive direction, so I'm going to, that is acceptable. All teams won 4 points for their schools. Good job. We're now ready for the final category. It's question 16. It comes from your world history textbook by Prairie Grove. Click. Who was the radical leader of the Committee of Public Safety and directed the Reign of Terror during the French Revolution?
Maximilian?
No.
Robespierre?
That is correct. 3 points for your second answer for Prairie Grove. Now we're ready for Bentonville's world history question. Who was the most influential leader advocating the restoration of all the pre-French Revolution monarchies at the Congress of Vienna in 1815?
The Prussians?
Say it again?
The Prussians?
No.
The Austrians?
No.
Marlowe?
No. So for the steel, Prairie Grove?
Napoleon?
No. Quickly, Farmington?
William Pitt.
No. The answer I have here is Metternich. M-E-T-T-E-R-N-I-C-H. No one got that world history question. Let's try Farmington. Your question that you get the first 15 seconds to answer. Who was the victorious general who defeated Napoleon's army for the last time at Waterloo?
William Pitt.
No.
Jacques Rousseau.
No.
Francis.
Time has elapsed, and we have a steal from Bentonville.
The Duke of Wellington?
Duke of Wellington is worth 1 point for the steal. All right. We're now at the time in the match where teams got to pick the team choice of a question they'd like to have an extra chance at. Prairie Grove chose math, Bentonville chose physics, Farmington chose biology. We're going to start with the math question, so if you'd pull your... Did I goof up?
Yeah, we chose biology.
Okay. Farmington, you got math and they have biology. I'm glad I read it out loud to fix that. So, thank you, Roy, helping me out. We're going to now give a biology question to Prairie Grove. They have 15 seconds. You only get one chance to get the answer correct, and the steal is worth 2 points. So, Prairie Grove, biology. Pyruvat, P-Y-R-U-V-A-T-E, pyruvat, which is produced in a cytoplasm during the breakdown of glucose, does not enter the citric acid cycle. Carbon atom is removed, resulting in the 2-carbon molecule, which ultimately joins with the compound synthesized from a B vitamin to make acetyl, CO-A. What happens to the carbon that is removed?
It becomes carbon dioxide.
That is correct. 4 points. Very convoluted question, and you saw through it. Good job. Bentonville, you chose physics. Here is your question to get 4 points, and you get 1 chance. Describe the motion of the ball dropped by a girl walking 1 meter per second as seen by a nearby viewer who is stationary.
It'll be parabolic.
Yes. 4 points for Bentonville. It would appear to be parabolic. 4 points. All right. And Farmington, you chose math, and if you'd open up your white envelope, distribute the slips of paper, I'll read the question out loud. You have 60 seconds, Farmington, to try to find the answer. What are the center and radius of the circle with the equation quantity x plus 4 squared plus quantity y minus 1 squared equal 16?
The center is -4, 1, and the radius is 4.
That is correct for 4 points. Well done. All teams got their toss-up question in full points. We're now ready for the final question, which, I said toss-up. everyone got their team choice. We're now ready for the toss-up. We're going to give the score because this could swing things. Farmington has 39 points. Prairie Grove has 40, and Bentonville has 55. So getting 4 points is a challenge for Prairie Grove and Farmington. The toss-up question comes from the category of chemistry. Everyone have their buzzer in hand. You got to wait for the question. All right. You may buzz in early if you'd wish, but you only get one shot. Only 4 points goes to the team that gets the answer correct. This is your chemistry toss-up question. This is a method of problem solving in which units are carried through, and we have, I'm looking for a color. There it is, Farmington. Your answer is?
Dimensional analysis.
You speak into the mic louder.
Dimensional analysis.
That is correct for 4 points to finish the game. And it goes to Farmington. Good, that was the last second moved up the chart in points. We're now at the end of the game. The finals, I want to tell the radio audience that there is no winner for today's match. What it is the scores from each team gets tabulated into an average that advanced them to the championship tournament in February. But today's scores are, Prairie Grove has 40 points, Farmington has 43, and Bentonville has 55. At this point, we're going to say goodbye to the radio audience, and those in the auditorium will take any challenges that you think you can squeeze out a few more points for your team. So thank you very much, and we'll see everyone at the next match, which is scheduled for January 29th, and it will be played at Prairie Grove's new gymnasium. Thank you very much. Goodbye.